Welcome to the SciFi Pubcast. Come for a drink, but stay for the speculation. There's method to our madness on this episode. We're doing Sherlock Holmes and his influence on science fiction. You could say it's elementary. It's one of our most irregular shows yet. So get out the gin and have a drink. The game is afoot. This is the SciFi Pubcast. Greetings, welcome to the SciFi Pubcast, the pubcast that tries to be a pub, and perhaps someday a pub that tries to be a podcast. Elementary. Elementary? How do I say that word? Elementary?
Elementary.
Any which way we're
Elementary.
Thank you. Any which way we're at the bar right now, and we're talking Sherlock Holmes and Sherlock Holmes' influence in science fiction. Let's see who we have around. Let me use all my senses available to me and my power of deductive reasoning. I think I've heard Carrie. Carrie, you're there?
No, I'm just a figment of your imagination.
That happens. Too much opium smoking. Yeah, of course. yeah. Which I do not encourage, by the way.
No,
just because
we do not encourage drugs other than alcohol in this bar.
Yes, and in moderation, no less. So,
Yeah.
And we have Derek.
Hey.
Derek, it's Derek Beebe. How you doing today, Derek?
You can deduct my presence just by the smell.
God.
Joel, I think I need to check out.
Yeah.
Bill, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish, but no, I need you around just to help me out with this.
Why do I have to be the good one?
Because other people dropped out and you're still here. Okay.
Oh, okay. I guess someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, look, if you want me to brush my teeth, you should buy me toothpaste. You shouldn't expect me to have to pay for it out of my own pocket, you know? I mean, that should be part of the job description.
I think Derek's trying to live like Sherlock Holmes. Like not like a clean version, but like the Guy Ritchie version. Terrible.
Yeah, that doesn't work out so well.
No.
Hey, if it gets me Rachel McAdams, it's worth it.
Yeah. Hey, Rachel McAdams is from St. Thomas, Ontario, and apparently she just gave birth to her first child. So good on her, to Rachel McAdams. I may or may not have a thing for her. So, okay, Derek, how's the good old kitchen doing?
It's great. In honor of our Sherlock topic, today I am a Hound of the Basket shill. We call it the Hound of the Basket. It's a loose hot dog wiener in a nice little wicker basket. We've got candy fangs on one end, and there's dog hair over it. I mean, that's always there, but I just decided not to clean it off this time.
Oh, right.
I don't even know what to do with that.
Come on, people love dogs.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to paw the whole thing, Derek, but and it's hard to keep track of it sometimes. But oh man, well,
I just ate too, so I may have to run if this is the way our food conversations are going to go.
Yeah, we're just pounding at home, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, well, moving on. Let's get into the topic, please. Anything except for the kitchen thing, please.
Yeah.
So Sherlock Holmes, nice English gentleman type. Well, not really. Is a fictional private detective created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Ooh. It's like me telling people about Star Wars. I think we all know who Sherlock Holmes is. But he's been around.
Well, there are people who maybe live under a rock who haven't heard the name, I guess.
Yeah, maybe some aliens out there because we don't know who downloads this podcast.
True.
Yeah, and I'm sure if it's actually broadcasted, I probably not on radio waves, so it's not like it's being beamed out to the stars in the galaxy. But who knows? Maybe.
And I always wear a foil hat so that they can't read what I'm thinking about.
That's important. Yes, definitely. And I'm not surprised one bit.
No, not at all.
Okay, going back, Sherlock Holmes, first published in 1887 in a story called A Study in Scarlet. And he appeared throughout numerous tales and novels until 1927, which was his last one.
By Doyle, anyway, and many people would continue to write him in the years after.
Oh, of course, because you hit it big when you create a fictional character that goes past your lifetime. Sherlock Holmes, my God, like this is such characters are so hugely popular in popular culture and literature, and I think Sherlock Holmes is one of the key figures of our times in the last 150 years.
Most especially once the copyright limitation expired.
Yeah, and then it was a free-for-all for the most part. Yeah. So we got, of course, Sherlock Holmes, and we have Dr. Watson, of course. And Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes, they share a flat together at 221B Barker Street.
Baker Street.
Barker. God, sorry, I'm still in the dog thing. That's where my mind is right now. Baker Street, London, England. And little known fact, actually it's probably a very well-known fact, is that Sherlock Holmes is arguably the best known fictional detective ever portrayed according to the Guinness World Records. But
I believe that.
Yeah, but he's not the first fictional detective, but he's the most well-known.
Okay.
And he's the most portrayed movie character in history.
Wow. Yes. And hell, I think, aren't you going to play him sometime soon in an upcoming Netflix TV program, Derek?
Am I going to play him?
Yeah, I think you were saying that the other day. No.
I don't have the intelligence.
Okay.
I did write a Sherlock story, though, which is getting published on April 24th in the new book, Baker Street Irregulars, The Game is Afoot.
Really?
Neat.
Yep.
Tell us.
And by sheer coincidence, it's a science fiction Sherlock story.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Yes. And I'm sure you'll tell us all about it, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
In my version, it's Sherlock is a teenager and he's living on the moon about 100 years in the future. And there's a locked room murder mystery. Only the locked room is a spaceship. And Watson, he actually volunteers his services to Watson to solve the crime.
Okay, interesting.
It's one of 14 short stories in that anthology. Some of them are sci-fi, some of them are modern day, some of them are ancient past. It's just kind of alternate versions of Sherlock Holmes.
Cool.
And
It's actually the second volume. They already published one last year, Baker Street Irregulars, and it's edited by Jonathan Mayberry and Michael Ventrella.
Cool.
what attracted you to the Sherlock Holmes topic, Derek?
The chance of getting published. No. I like Sherlock. I haven't read a lot of the original Holmes stories. I've only read a few of them. But obviously, Sherlock is pervasive throughout popular culture in science fiction and modern day stories like the BBC series with Cumberbatch, the Robert Downey Jones movies. I mean, he's obviously one of the great archetypal characters, and that version has been repeated over and over again in so many different forms of media. But I love the idea of the all-knowing, snooty intellectual who can, solve all the crimes and one-up everyone around him. While of course, also completely lacking in social skills. Something I know a thing or two about.
Yeah, that's excellent. Now, do you think he solved all the crimes, or do you think he actually does crime and just solves the more serious crime?
Did you say, does he do the crimes?
Yeah,
but
he does a lot of drug use. He does a lot of break and enters. He occasionally gets into fights and assaults people. He's always drunk in public. Do you think Sherlock Holmes is a criminal, Derek? Do you?
Well, it depends on which version you're talking about. If we're talking about the original canon version, I would say no, but
Yeah.
that kind of sounds more like the Robert Downey Jones version.
Yeah.
Wait,
Downey Jr.
Robert
you
Downey
mean,
Jones. Never mind.
Yeah, you've said that like twice now.
Really?
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr.
That's funny. Well,
Derek is obviously smoking something.
the thing is, okay, what's I'm going off the top of my memory. Is it Peter Cushing who played him back in the day in the 50s and 60s?
Was it Basil Rathbone?
I
in the 60s. I mean, I haven't seen those myself. I just know of them.
You know who Peter Cushing is, right?
Yeah, Tarkin.
Yeah.
Wasn't he also Van Helsing in the Hammer Dracula movies?
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
And I'm just double checking this. So carry on.
Carries on what? Opium?
No, Carrie is on caffeine.
Yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night either, so I can relate. I'm just reading the... Peter. Yes, it is. I'm right. I'm not losing my mind. Yeah, Peter Cushing did play Sherlock Holmes. And it was actually a Hammer film, The Hound of the Baskervilles. So
nice.
There you go. Hey.
Excellent.
Yes. I like the intellectual type. And Peter Cushing, both in Sherlock Holmes, in Tarkin and Star Wars, I love the highly intelligent characters. And we see this in Sherlock Holmes. But let's bring the whole science fiction aspect into it. Derek, tell us all about how Sherlock Holmes has invaded the world of science fiction.
Well, I was looking at examples of sci-fi Sherlock. Well, not Sherlock specifically, but just Sherlock-like characters. But there's even been literal Sherlock science fiction stories before my own. There was apparently a cartoon in 1999 called Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century. And I wish I had seen this show as a kid because I bet I would have loved it. But it's basically like the movie Demolition Man. Sherlock Holmes is woken up in the future to chase down a modern-day version of Moriarty. And it looks like Watson is a robot. So that's cool.
Lovely. And yes, it's kind of odd how the authors draw the inspiration from a character that was created in 1887 and launch him into space, so to speak. And it still works.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Sherlock character is kind of you can kind of put him anywhere, and he will just do what it is that he does and solve the crimes and solve the mysteries and occasionally be a bit of an ass while doing it.
Yeah, because he's not perfect, is he?
No, he's not. He's very far from perfect.
He has so many faults. He's elitist. He's a substance abuser. He doesn't care for people. What's the line from the whole psychopath? Let me look it up. Oh yeah, this is what yes. And the line is, "Oh, I'm not a psychopath. I'm a high functioning sociopath. Do your research."
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Like a high functioning sociopath. Yes, I want all my heroes to be high functioning sociopaths.
Now, as I recall, a sociopath doesn't care about other people, and a psychopath doesn't think other people are human. Is that right?
Not my understanding. I'm not, of course, a licensed psychologist or psychiatrist, and I'm not an expert by any means. But I think psychopaths they have the ability not to actually empathize with other people.
Right,
So,
like they don't think other people are alive in the way that they are.
yeah, yeah, exactly. They don't care. They don't understand. All they care is about themselves. Whereas a sociopath just really doesn't care about society all that much. And
I wish I could be a sociopath. That sounds easy.
Yeah, and well, maybe you are. Who knows? And yeah, sociopath. I think there's a connotation to it that it's a negative drag on society. It's not just that they don't like society; they do everything not to fit in and wants to tear it down. But I could be reading into it as well.
Now, I have a question of distinction for you two. Given the fact that Sherlock was written in the 1800s, would any modern-day version of Sherlock, by definition, be science fiction since it took place in the future relative to its original creation? Or does it have to be a Sherlock existing in our future?
That's a good question. I remember seeing a couple of interviews with Stephen Moffat with regards to the BBC Sherlock, where he was talking about how if you took the Sherlock of the original stories and put him in modern day, which is basically what they've done, he would totally be using the hell out of all the technology he has access to.
Yeah, I think with Sherlock Sherlock draws his deductive reasoning by observation. And I think technology plays a huge role in the way Sherlock views the world. Because he's seeing things, it's cause and effect. If it's something that smells, or is it some sort of mark that's left on a piece of clothing, or is it some sort of poison dart, he's on it. So
right, exactly.
To me, that's a lot to do with technology. Maybe 19th century technology, but it's still technology.
Right. And if he has access to all the toys that he would have access to today, why wouldn't he use them?
Yeah, and I can see how in that one, was it Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century, where Watson would be a robot, because robots don't really care about emotions. They're just so rational. And even Sherlock, maybe Watson's more the emotional one than Sherlock, but Sherlock, I can see Sherlock being like an artificial intelligence.
You mean Watson was Watson was the robot. Yeah. Actually, it kind of makes sense because Watson was the one chronicling Sherlock's adventures, so it would kind of make sense that he would be a robot or an android in a futuristic version of the story, because then he would have data banks full of their escapades and stuff.
Yeah, he could be the equivalent of a GoPro camera.
Exactly.
Yeah, with a live uplink to YouTube.
Exactly.
I actually just read one of the stories in the Baker Street book that's coming out, and it literally is that Sherlock and Holmes are two different in-home security computers for like a smart house, and one of them is Watson,
nice.
And one of them is Holmes.
Nice.
Wasn't there a Star Wars Clone Wars episode where there was some sort of robotic detective? That's the whole Agenta. I can't say the word. During the bombing of the Jedi headquarters.
Oh, I don't remember.
Well, I remember. I remember when Ahsoka lost her lightsaber. There is that old lizard guy with the cane, and then there were robotic policemen, but I don't remember them having a central role. They were kind of just there for backup.
Right.
I don't remember a main robot detective.
Yeah. I think the main one's not robotic, but there was robotic police or investigators around, detectives.
Yeah, they were kind of the supporting characters.
Yeah, there you go. What?
Well, and Thrawn is kind of been compared to Sherlock.
Oh, he is very clearly Sherlock.
he's like the best combination of Sherlock Holmes and Batman, but for the Imperial side.
Yeah, I would say that Grand Admiral Thrawn, sorry, Admiral, is the best example of a sci-fi Sherlock, most famous.
Yeah.
Right.
And if we drill down to what is essentially Sherlock Holmes, how he rationalizes things, his rationality, I think is summed up by the famous quote, of course, that how often, I'll quote, how often have I said to you that when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. And if you actually look at that, that's quite an awesome statement. It's so profound because it's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's a great starting point when you write detective stories.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, if you keep relying on the same stuff, then it ceases to be interesting. So sometimes something that seems completely impossible ups the entertainment value, if nothing else.
The thing I associate most with Sherlock is the power of observation, being able to take in all these little minute details and build a story out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Thrawn does by examining people's art. He's able to make these, seemingly insane predictions that turn out to be true because he's understanding the philosophy behind the creation.
Exactly.
So what other itineration? I can't. Why is I can't talk? Thank you, because I've only had 3 cups of coffee this morning. Clearly, I need more. So, how many other examples are out there of Sherlock Holmes being used in a future setting? Can you think of
I haven't read these books in forever, but there's Elijah Bailey in the Isaac Asimov robot series.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I read those when I was a kid. I I need to read them again. I don't remember a thing about them. But.
Yeah, I think I might have read them when it was like 12 or 13, but it's
yeah, the only thing I remember is in the first book that humans are agoraphobic in the future and they don't have any physical contact with one another. They all live in their own little separate city spheres attended to by robots. So when he has to go visit the woman where a murder was, it was a big deal of being in the same room with another human being.
Is this your your dream future, Derek?
I like to be around people. I just don't want to have to interact with them. That's what's great about Disney World.
Oh, right.
Well, okay, so it's not actually sci-fi. It's not actually set in the future, but I do have a couple of really Sherlock Dracula crossover books.
Oh yeah.
They're so the late Fred Saberhagen has a series of books based on Dracula. The first one is kind of like Vlad's rebuttal to the original book, and then the second and seventh books in the series are basically a crossover. Well, not even a crossover, a team up between Dracula and Sherlock Holmes, and they actually play off the fact that their descriptions are so similar that they can actually swap places for each other, and that leads to some fun time.
Why would Sherlock agree to work with Dracula?
Because Dracula's good in this case is one of the good guys.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, the first book in the series is his rebuttal to Bram Stoker's original novel, and he basically has very, very rational explanations for everything that went on in that book. So, and then we just go on from there. But I digress.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, how about Terry Pratchett's Discworld series? There's a Sam Vines, is that right?
I don't think I've gotten far enough into Discworld to get to him.
And I have criminally not read those yet.
Yeah, they're on my list of things to read as well. It's just I'm so behind.
I thought you were into the Discworld series, Carrie.
I am. I like them. I've only gotten through I think the first 4 books.
Okay.
So much to read in so little time and all that.
Right.
Yeah, and there's other things as well. There's Star Trek. Has there been any Sherlock Holmes in Star Trek?
Oh, I think we were talking about this for the last episode. The Sherlock episodes revolving around Moriarty and Data.
Yeah, I think the episodes was Elementary, Dear Data, and Ship in a Bottle, according to my database in my head.
Yes.
And the whole idea is that it would be fun to play Sherlock Holmes and go against a hologram of Moriarty.
Moriarty?
Cool. Yeah.
Well, the problem is that they, and this kind of gets back into our last episode. They had this supposedly brilliant idea to come up with a version of a Sherlock Holmes story that would stump Data, and that's what created the self-aware version of Moriarty that plagued the Enterprise a couple of times.
Interesting.
That reminds me, just last night I was finishing the Star Trek book that takes place immediately after the Nemesis movie, and they're clearing out Data's cabin room, and they find the deerskin cap from Elementary Dear Data.
I think that's also in the novelization for Nemesis. Because I know it's a deleted scene in Nemesis that Geordi and Worf clearing out Data's cabin and trying to figure out where Spot is going to have a home and stuff like that.
Would we consider Data himself to be a sci-fi Sherlock minus the rudeness? He does have the skills of observation and the brilliant intellect.
And no drug habit.
Yeah.
I think partly, but you can make the same observation with Spock. Isn't there a bit of Sherlock Holmes and Spock's character?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
actually,
he too.
Well, he's unemotional, but he also in Star Trek 6 alludes to the idea that he and Sherlock may have been distantly related.
Yeah, he's not full of himself at all.
No, not at all.
No. Oh, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, this Dirk Gently guy. There's a Netflix series out right now.
Yes.
Yay, Douglas
that
Adams.
was unfortunately canceled.
It was prematurely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But Dirk Gently is awesome. He's he was so adorable in the series. I just want to give him a big hug.
Wow.
Which will probably end up getting me very dead or body swapped with some animal or something based on the track record of the story, the show.
Dirk Gently is an interesting version because I definitely wouldn't consider him to be intelligent at all, but he does have these amazing powers of observation seemingly by accident because he is, he kind of has slightly psychic powers that he doesn't really have control over. So he's able to see connections between events that normal people wouldn't be able to see.
Well, and the Dirk Gently character himself actually started life as the Doctor, so that actually makes sense.
Oh, that's right. He was based out of the Shada episode that was canceled by a strike. Back when Douglas Adams was working on Tom Baker's Doctor Who.
Yeah, you don't hear it so much, or you don't read it. It's not very apparent when you read the novel, but if you listen to the audiobook, especially the way Douglas Adams read it, it's very very, very obvious that was what the story started out as.
Interesting.
It reads like a Doctor Who story.
And I'm sure if the actual Sherlock and Dirk Gently ever gotten stuck in a room together, they would kill one another because Sherlock wouldn't be able to stand him.
Oh, that would be the best crossover ever. I really want to see that now.
It's like they get trapped in this pub, but they can't leave the pub because the doors are locked and they can't escape, and they have to have a drink together.
Joel, what are you bringing down on this bar?
Hey, I'm just trying to run with things. It's always about making connections, Carrie. Making connections.
Yeah, well, okay, I suppose if it opens some kind of space-time wormhole in the kitchen and sucks out all of Derek's weird food experiments, that would probably be a bonus.
Yeah.
And I guess Doctor Who is kind of a Sherlock as well, isn't he? He's brilliant. He has powers of observation. He often rankles people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Especially the first Doctor. Later versions were more buffoonish, but the first one was more of a prim and proper British intellectual.
Yeah, and the third Doctor was kind of like that too.
Yeah. And also the third Doctor knew Venusian karate.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, he did.
Wow. How about other series? Isn't there like a Canadian kids series from like the late 90s?
I was going to ask you that, Joel, since you're Canadian.
But you're the one who actually did the research.
I never heard of this before last night, but there was a show called The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes from 1997 to 2000, and it was filmed in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Is that close to you, Joel?
It's like a 3-hour plane ride, 4-hour plane ride.
So okay.
No. Okay.
Not that close.
Well, she was the great grandniece of Sherlock Holmes, solving crimes in a Canadian city.
Ah, lovely.
Interesting.
Wait. There's crime in a Canadian city?
It's a fictional Canadian city.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
You would know more than us about any crime
right.
in a Canadian city, Joel.
We have it's called public image, right? Okay.
Right. That's kind of like how it always rains. It's always raining in Seattle.
Yeah, but that's actually true. Okay.
If you guys ever listen to Kevin Smith's podcast, Smodcast, one of the regular bits that they do is Scan BC, where they read these adorable crime items from the police ledger in where's Burnaby?
That's the Lower Mainland, so it's just next to Vancouver.
Vancouver. Oh yeah, Vancouver. They read items from the Vancouver ledger, and they're just like these really charming, innocent crime stories about people yelling at cows or something like that. Or it's like nothing ever violent or hurtful. Just people doing dumb, innocent things.
Right.
It's really amusing.
Right. Hey, there's a question for you. novels and, of course, the TV show The Expanse, we have Detective Miller. Do you think there's a bit of Sherlock in Detective Miller, or is he just a rough and tough noir type cop?
I think of him as more like, the more noir type cop, but I'm sure there is at least some Sherlock in him, as there is little bit of Sherlock in all modern and detectives and more recent fictional detectives.
So I don't see him as Sherlock.
Yeah, but remember, Joe Miller wore that stupid hat. Right, so that's he always had the stupid hat he got on. And who else wore a hat? Who? In many of the portrayals? Mr. Holmes.
Yeah, but I mean, at least with the BBC version, he hated that hat.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. You're talking about the Elementary series, or the
No, the Sherlock series. I've only maybe caught 1 or 2 episodes of Elementary.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get these two TV shows confused all the time.
Elementary is the American version.
Right.
Yes.
Sorry. I meant Sherlock, the first, the British one. So, which is actually a really cool series.
It is.
Yes.
I didn't watch Elementary either. I think I saw the pilot, and at that point I was kind of Sherlocked out because we had just had the BBC series and we had just had the Downey movie. So it's kind of like I wasn't really ready to, commit my precious time to a third Sherlock interpretation at that time. I'm a busy man.
Oh, God.
Got a lot to do.
I'm sure you
do. A lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know.
Hey, so let's talk a bit about 221B Baker Street. When I was in London, England last, which was the summer of 2016, because I went to Star Wars Celebration London, I actually went down to the 221B Baker Street. And it's a bit of it's a tourist place. So you pay a bunch of money and you go through about 4 or 5 different rooms. You have to wait in line, but it's still kind of neat. And then they have a big store next door where you can go in and you can buy all your Sherlock Holmes stuff you ever want to buy. So they're living life large.
Isn't that though a fiction? An actual? Doesn't 221B doesn't actually really exist?
Yeah, there was some fudging.
It's kind of like the there's a friend of mine and I once spent 2 hours driving up and down Sunset Boulevard looking for the Norma Desmond's house, and we finally had to conclude that it was didn't really exist.
It happens. Yeah. Apparently, Baker Street existed, but the numbers of that 221B didn't until somewhat fairly recent.
And I'm sure that had the advent of having that exist has nothing to do with Sherlock.
No, nothing at all, and it's fairly irregular. So. Yes.
Fiction becomes reality.
And
I'll stop with the sarcasm now.
What else? I think Sherlock Holmes. Was he in like a episode or a comic book series of Batman once upon a time?
No, but Batman
remember.
Is a Sherlock type character.
Yes. Yeah. I think
he's a master of observation.
He's
brilliant. He's antisocial. He hates criminals.
Yeah. I think there's one, like, going way back, like in the early age of Batman, where he actually meets Sherlock Holmes, and Sherlock Holmes is like a 130-year-old man wearing a deer stalker hat. It's just Google it. It's precious.
I'm sure there's at least one Elseworlds story out there somewhere involving Batman and Sherlock.
Batman's been around for 80 or 90 years, so I'm sure there's endless stories with an actual Sherlock Holmes.
I'm sure it's been done.
Yeah.
Well, it just raises the question, who did it better, Robin or Dr. Watson?
Which Robin, though?
Oh, God. Yes. Which Robin? I don't know. Okay. Is there anything else we can think of with Sherlock Holmes in science fiction?
I would like to throw in Agent Pendergast from the Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child novel series. I doubt you guys have read this, but this is like my favorite book series. He's basically a modern day Sherlock Holmes. He's brilliant. He's a complete asshole. He's an FBI agent who solves crimes and goes after bizarre cases and serial killers. And he has the whole memory palace, master of observation thing going on. And he's got an evil brother who's just like Moriarty. I mean, he literally is Sherlock Holmes, just done in the modern day. And I love those books. And they actually do have some light sci-fi, fantasy, paranormal elements to them. So they are kind of, sort of science fiction in a very light X-Files kind of way.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
But I highly recommend that series. They are really good page turners. I think there's like 15 or 16 books at this point, and not all of them, but most of them are absolutely spectacular, and the other ones are also great. But he's who I think of when I think of as a stand-in Sherlock. And they were supposed to have made a TV series about him on Spike, but it ended up, petering out in development.
And Spike is no more anyway, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if you guys saw it was a movie called The Relic. I want to say it was in 1994. Agent Pendergast is not in that movie, but that's actually the first Agent Pendergast novel, and they decided to cut him out of the movie. Really? Because this was before Pendergast was such a popular character. When those authors first started, they were kind of doing standalone books that didn't connect to one another, and they just happened to have this Agent Pendergast guy in the Relic novel. And then as time went on, they kept using him more and more, and he became more popular. So he became what their series was about. But at the time that they made that movie, they just decided to leave that character out of it.
Interesting.
It's not a great movie. It's about a monster attacking the Museum of Natural History in New York. But there's a rational explanation for it. It's not, it's not unrealistic. It's kind of like an X-Files kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
But yeah,
I'm intrigued.
I love that series. I highly recommend it to anyone.
Sounds like a bit of a mystery. Hey, speaking of mysteries, Sherlock Holmes' death at Rockenbach Falls, or say it in German as Rockenbach. I can't do the thing with the German.
Right.
Well, which is actually a real falls in Switzerland. Did you guys know that?
I do now.
Now we should organize a field trip.
Are you paying?
Oh,
Yeah.
saunas, not me, but saunas. Right. Okay. I have to. I'll task Randall with setting up the field trip. So.
Okay. Cool.
There you go.
There we go.
The thing that I found really interesting when I actually went back and read about the original Sherlock stories is that nowadays we always think of Sherlock and Moriarty, that the two are just attached at the hip, and so many modern day Sherlock stories inevitably have Moriarty in them. But in the original thing, out of all the stories, Moriarty is only in a single story, The Final Problem. And he only created him in order to kill off Sherlock because he was sick of writing him. So, I mean, that whole archetype of the arch villain didn't really exist back then. And he's just become so popular after the fact. But in the original stories, he's not there. He's in one story. And he's not even in it that much. I read that one, and he only appears in a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
I always thought that was interesting because, most people, when they write a Sherlock nowadays, they always throw in Moriarty because he's the villain.
Well, I mean, in the first season of Sherlock, he doesn't really show up. I mean, he's kind of in the background, but he doesn't even really show up until the last episode, and he's barely. Well, he is in that, but he's pretending to be someone else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Sherlock Holmes really needs? He needs more girlfriends. Because he only has like one in the books, right? And she's only seen very occasionally. I know some of the more recent versions of Sherlock Holmes puts a more of a role. But Irene Adler. Irene
Adler is awesome, and I love what they did with her in the Sherlock series. I know Natalie Dormer plays her on Elementary, which is one of the draws for me to go back to that at some point. But I really love the Sherlock version of her, and I'm sure you guys both love Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, it's you love someone so much and they don't return the affections. It makes you want to go and read Sherlock Holmes novels. It's just
Irene Adler is another one of those characters. I didn't research this ahead of time, but I'm pretty sure she only appears in that one story. Does anybody know if that's right?
Yeah, I think it's like one or two series.
So she's another one that's retroactively become an inherent part of his story. But in the original bits, she was just a one-off character, just like Moriarty.
Yeah. Do you think in future science fiction Sherlock Holmes stories that she will be like a robot? That's going to be really bizarre.
Maybe a fembot.
Yeah. Oh well, that's that's how my brain works. I always think of the what ifs. Mm-hmm. So, any other stories or products out there that is Sherlock Holmes related?
Well, I know coming this Christmas, there's going to be a Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly Sherlock Holmes movie.
Really?
I don't know if it's modern day or past day or what. I just saw, the credit listing. So yeah, they will be in Holmes and Watson, December 21st.
That's hilarious.
I'm slightly afraid.
Actually, there's some YouTube clips of some of the film shooting sites right now, and one of the video clips shows the Tower of London, and it is a period piece, so it's going to be entertaining to say the least. Yeah, because you got Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, who I love, Ralph Fiennes, help me out here.
Ralph Fiennes.
Thanks. Oh God, but you have some really Hugh Laurie. It's going to be great. Hugh Laurie is playing Mycroft.
Nice. That's perfect.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Right. And then, of course, we got the most important piece of Sherlock Holmes fiction in science fiction that's ever been written. Of course, I'm referring to Mr. Derek Beebe's piece in this anthology called Baker Street Irregulars. The Game is Afoot. Was it Volume 2? Help me out here.
Volume 2. I was not in Volume 1.
Okay, well, it's this time of the show, this time in the evening, so to speak, where Derek, tell us about this anthology and how you got into it and how you actually got published, because it's really is a mystery to us.
Well, I've already been published a few times in a fantasy series called Fortanis, which is also edited by Michael Ventrella. So that's how I had the in to submit to him for this one. And the story didn't make the first submission, but I rewrote it and it got in for this one. So I'm very happy about that because this is with a larger publisher than the Fortanis books. It's going to be more high profile. There's actually going to be an audiobook. There is going to be an actor reading my story, which is just utterly amazing to me. It's being read by Corey Jackson, who, amongst other things, was in several episodes of House of Cards, but not a season that I got to yet. I think I only watched the first 2 seasons.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, the paperback comes out April 24th. The ebook and the audiobook will come out sometime after that. But yeah, so a professional actor is going to read my story. That is the neatest thing in the world.
That's great.
And it's edited by Jonathan Mayberry and Michael Ventrella. Some of the authors include Narelle Harris, Keith DeCandidio, who has written so many Star Trek novels, Jodie Lynn Nye, R. Rozakis, Sarah Stigall, Hildy Silverman, Daniel Kimmel, Stephanie McPherson, Gordon Linsner, Mike Strauss, Chuck Regan, and Nat Gertler.
Wow.
So there's 14 stories in total. Mine is one of them. You only have to get through 15 pages, and then you can get on to the other people.
Who's the publisher of the book?
I knew that answer 15 minutes ago.
You can tell industry is written all over you, Derek. Okay. But I'm sure.
I believe it was called Intermission Publications, but I would have to go back and look at this point.
I'm sure it's available at your fine bookseller in your local community, right? Okay.
Yeah, I saw it on the Amazon website, and I saw it on the Barnes & Noble's website.
That's cool. Hey, so do you sneak into bookstores, Derek, to sign your name in these when you see your book published? And you do the whole fancy sign.
I have yet to see my book in a bookstore, but if I did, I would totally do that. I did go to my first literary convention about a month ago, and we were selling copies there. So I got to autograph about 20 or 30 copies of the book. So that was pretty cool. I even got to sell the book to a real live human being. So that was cool too.
Are you sure?
Well, she might have been a fembot. I'm not sure. I didn't check that closely.
Hey.
I don't have Sherlock's powers of observation.
That's great. Okay, guys. Any last thoughts about Sherlock Holmes and science fiction?
I like it.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yes. So, dear customer, if you're in the mood, write a Sherlock Holmes story and email it to us, and we'll read it on our podcast. That's how it works, as long as it will fit within a couple minutes. So,
I was about to say, as long as it's under a minute long.
That's not being a minute, but yeah, it's something reasonable. Okay. Because at the SciFi Pubcast, we really just don't care anymore. Okay.
It's a volume business.
Right. So it's our closing time. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at SciFi Pubcast. Our network is When Nerds Attack. We're on Facebook. Derek does the Facebook page. I do the Twitter stuff. Leave us an Apple's podcast review if you wish. Send us an email. management@scifipubcast.space. Carrie, what's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is Carrie Blackfire42. That's KERI Blackfire42.
And Derek, yours?
At Derek J. Beebe.
And I'm at Joel, JOEL _Welch, WELCH. Sometimes I just have to try to get through my stuttering. And I should be drinking, and I'm not drinking. I'm actually having a cup of coffee. Oh, I'm so pathetic. And lastly, When Nerds Attack does have a Patreon account. Check that out. And it's closing time. Make it home safe, and we'll see you next time, our dear customers. Bye now.
Bye.
Music provided courtesy of Logan Rathbone. Podcast logo by Drew. Copyrighted Joe Welch. Listen responsibly.